Hey guys, good morning. I'm Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my February wrap-up part 2, and I have quite a few books to talk about, so I'm just going to get right on into it. So the first book I want to talk about is 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. Now I picked this up from the library as soon as it came out. I had it on order. I was like the first one, like totally there, because I read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and it was probably one of the cutest romances I've ever read for contemporary romances. And in this one, we are following Darcy, who finds out that she has inherited her grandmother's cottage or house along with her brother. And she's going to spend the summer renovating the house, and then she finds out that her childhood crush, or like the boy that she has always loved, is the architect who is helping to rebuild and remodel the house. But the problem is he just happens to be her brother's best friend, and also to be engaged, to be married to someone else. So things go from there. So this was actually a really quick read for me. However, afterwards, I started to find a lot of things problematic about this story. I'm not so keen on how Darcy treats the guy that she likes. I'm also not a fan of how certain characters act in this book. And I'm also, I don't know, I'm a bit over some of the cliches that I found in this book. So I think I give it 3 stars overall. It was originally like 4, and then once I thought about it for a hot second, it got down to 3. So I know that this is like highly anticipated, and I wish I had loved it. Like, I wish I had, because I was really, really looking forward to it because it's Sally Thorne. Yeah, so I hope that the next book by Sally Thorne is closer to The Hating Game. Okay, and then the next book I read was The Wall by John Lancaster. So this is set in kind of a futuristic UK where they built a huge wall around the coastline to keep people out. So there's something called the Change, which you like find out, I guess, is like just global warming and sea levels rising and stuff, and people are leaving their countries to find countries which still have food and shelter. And in the country that the main character is in, you have to serve time along the wall, like defending the interior from the outsiders. And if you fail to do so, then you are put outside, essentially. So reading this book, it was such a hate read. It was such a hate read. I should have DNF'd it and just left it alone, but I kept thinking like, no. Something cool, something is going to turn around, and I'm going to have been horribly mistaken about the whole book. But in fact, no, it got like worse, and the plot just like totally unraveled. So I think I give this book 2 stars, and the 2 stars is just because I really like the premise. I like dystopian premises. Wow, yeah. But this book was all tell and no show. I think the reason maybe it was published is because the writer himself is famous. So yeah, I do not recommend. I also gave this 2 stars, or even 1, I forget. But anyway, yeah, I really don't recommend this one. I was not a fan. Okay, and now is the book that was the best for me in the month of February, I believe, and it is Heartbreaker by Claudia Day. Wow, this book is so weird. It is so weird. Okay, so it takes place in what you would think is like a hippie commune, but no one is hippies. Instead, they're all stuck in the 80s. Like, the founders originally founded the colony in the 80s, so everything that they have, like all the music, all the clothes, everything they have is from the 80s, so it's just stuck in the time period of the 80s. And you are following a girl whose mother goes missing. So the mother decides to drive off and leave, and no one has ever left the territory before. So she decides that she's going to find out what happened to her mother and kind of go on an adventure. But this book, it's so hard to explain because it's not really like that at all. Like, the first part is from a girl's perspective, the middle part is from a dog's perspective, and the last part is from a boy's perspective. And this book was so good. It is so, so weird, very dark, and just so unexpected. And original. So if any of those things sound like something you would like, then I really, really recommend it. This was so good and took me by complete surprise. It's sitting in my top 3 right now, so yeah, I really, really loved this, and I really, really recommend it. It's Heartbreaker by Claudia Day. Yeah, so this was amazing, and I'm so glad that I read it. Okay, now we're into DNF land, which, oh man, please. Okay. Right. Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James. So I got this from my library as soon as it came out, and I just couldn't get into it. I read 40 pages, and the writing style is just not for me. I found it exhausting, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And like after 40 pages, I wanted to know something, but I didn't know anything. So I decided it's just not for me. My husband's gonna read it because he actually really likes this writing style. So yeah, hopefully if it's amazing and it totally blows his mind, then he can let me know. But as of right now, I did DNF this book, and I know that that's a super unpopular opinion, and everyone seems to be raving about this book, but frankly, I just could not stand the writing style. Yeah, so that's where I stand on this book. Okay, and next is another book I did not finish called Suicide Club by Rachel Heng. So this is a futuristic society where science has progressed so that people's bodies no longer really decay as long as you eat the right food and you lightly exercise and you don't, have sun damage, all that kind of stuff. And we're following a main character who is part of the upper elite until one day when she sees her father and steps out into traffic, and the city thinks that she tried to kill herself, which puts her under suspicion because the whole point of society is to try and live forever. And she learns about this dangerous club who doesn't want to live forever and who just wants to eat red meat, eat chips, and basically take their own life to prove that life is worth living type thing. Those aren't spoilers, those are all pretty much on the back. But I love the idea of this. I absolutely love the idea of this. It sounded so cool, and actually the setup for the city and the world is really great. But I did make it quite a fair bit through. I think I'm 2/3 of the way through, but I just don't care. Like, at 2/3 of the way through, I should care about either one of the main characters. I completely don't. I don't care. I find them really uninspiring and boring, and I just don't care about their lives at all. So I decided to not waste any more time. I'm just gonna DNF it and let it go. Cool idea, and I just don't know why, but it's not resonating with me, and I find the characters really, really bland. So, yeah. Okay. And then, because I DNF'd 2 books that I thought I would love back to back, I was feeling really down. So I quickly read a romance called The Duke by Catherine Ashe. Here you go. There you go. It involves a naval captain and the Highlands, and that's all you need to know. It was good. I'm down to the 2 books that I'm currently reading. The first one is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson, and this is a coming-of-age tale about a girl who is questioning her really religious upbringing and also her sexuality. The last book that I am reading for the month of February right now is Black Feathers, a Dark Avian Tales anthology edited by Ellen Datlow. So, looks like that. The cover is so creepy and amazing. This is amazing. So it's all dark, creepy tales about birds, specifically so far corvids, which are like ravens and crows, which are my favorite types of birds, and I really like ravens and crows especially. So yeah, I just find this so amazing. The first one was so creepy. I put this book down for like a few days because it gave me nightmares. And it was only like 4 pages long, so yeah, that can just tell you how creepy it is. Yeah, I really recommend this if you like dark, creepy things or blackbirds or anything like that. Yeah, I am going away, and I have to turn this book back into the library today, so I will have to be checking this back out later on, but it is amazing, and I highly recommend. Black Feathers edited by Ellen Datlow. Yeah, really recommend. So that is it. Those are all the books that I have read, DNF'd, and are currently reading. Let me know what you guys are reading down below. I would love to hear from you. And just as a recap, my favorite book for February was Heartbreaker by Claudia Day, and my favorite book that I'm currently reading is Blackfeather's Dark Avian Anthology, which, yeah, they're both kind of random and I wasn't expecting to like them as much as I do, but I'm so glad that I picked them up and I'm just so kind of chuffed. Yeah. I hope you guys are having an amazing day and I will chat to you later. Bye!